Hey, 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 happy Monday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I am back once again. I am Jeff McAleer, here as your host at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. So, welcome aboard. This is my second start at the stream. So, had an audio issue, which is my fault. I should have checked it, but lots of stuff has been going on. I'm going to talk about it in just a bit. We're going to jump into the news too. We're going to talk news, but want to share a lot of stuff that was pretty cool going on Friday and this weekend, and I will get to that in just a bit. Do want to point out tonight is Monday, September 16th. This is episode 362 of The Daily Dope. 362. As you can see, this is a live stream, so this is very, very casual. This is not rocket surgery or anything like that. Just kind of kick back, share some tabletop gaming news. I also do unboxings and RPG page throughs and reviews of all sorts. Those videos are now standalone videos. They are not part of the Daily Dope. So, it is a live stream. Chat is available on YouTube. It is not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of these stranger commenters at bay, but I do pay attention to the chat. So if you've got a question, maybe you want to say howdy, by all means, please chime in. And why are we showing the wrong date here? That is not right. What is going on? That date should be correct. Okay, so I will fix that in a second. Let me pop out of here. And it'll only take a second for me to do this. I will talk about why things are a little discombobulated today. Not for a bad reason, actually a good reason. But you should be able to notice one of the reasons, one of the new things, because there are a few new things going on that maybe, there we go. I see the file that I need there. Take me a second, then it'll refresh on the stream. There we go. Stupid me saved this to the rug folder earlier. That's why I'm like, why? I did the date. What's going on here? Where's the date? Why isn't it changing? Yay. There we go. Okay, so we're all good. So, I do see that my good pal Dan from No Enemies Here is in chat. Exolera X1 is back again. Flaming Huron has arrived as well. So, first thing I should point out, does anybody notice anything different about the video quality? I'm hoping you do, because I will be freaking out if you don't. So, the reason why I didn't have a show on Friday was, sure. We're going to get into tabletop gaming news in just a few moments, just a couple of moments. So, for this view here, for the Daily Dope, I had been using a Canon camcorder. Now, the battery is not on this. Dan says I look more handsome. Are you drinking tonight, Dan? Because it's like every imperfection is now right there in front of everybody. Yay. So I was shooting on this Canon camcorder, which is it's a nice camcorder. It really is. I really like it, but it just wasn't giving me sharp enough images. So I borrowed another camcorder from my brother, and a Sony. He had been crowing about this forever. Well, I checked it out, and it's an older camcorder. Video quality was not very good at all. So I had the opportunity on Friday to go pick up a DSL camera. So I did that. That is why you do see that everything should be sharper. Now, the background behind me is going to be a little bit out of focus. All the games and stuff are just they're a little bit out of focus, but that's because of the depth of field right now. I am working on different things. I'm not sure because I don't like to see like everything behind somebody in a YouTube video really blurry, especially when we're talking about tabletop games. And I've got like all these tabletop games behind me. So I don't know. It's yeah, I'd like to see it fairly clear. But I'm playing around a little bit with the depth of field. So the most important thing is that I am in focus, that you can see me. So that is the important thing here. I have new lighting on the way as well. That is not going to get here until Wednesday. Is supposedly, I got this stuff off Amazon. Not the camera. I got that on Facebook Marketplace. Went and picked it up from somebody and got a slamming deal. That's why I didn't have the show on Friday, because I wanted to take advantage of the deal the guy had for the camera ASAP, because I knew it was not going to last. So, anyway, so Xcelera1 says, did he pay you to say that? Did I pay Dan to say that I look more handsome? Absolutely not. No. John Vogel and Hubcam 210 are also in chat tonight, too. Good to see you both. So anyway, so I will have, I finally got some light boxes. So I've got the light boxes coming because I play around. If you watch the show, if you've seen any of the 361 prior episodes of the Daily Dope, you know I refer to this as the Duct Tape Studios, because so much stuff is held together with duct tape, and everything is like super on the cheap. So, yeah. And no joke, there is, in fact, if I didn't have to jump up and grab it, I would actually grab one of the rolls of duct tape that I have sitting down here. So now, not so much duct tape, especially when we do get the new lighting coming in on Wednesday with the soft light, a little more soft light. So I also built an overhead rig for the camera as well, because when I do my reviews and I do page throughs and things like that, I always do an overhead shot. So that is going to be a lot better. As the Madman and Bones have arrived. Dan says, I'd love to see a tour of your studio, Jeff. No, you wouldn't. I'm telling you right now, you would not. Because it's embarrassing. I have junk all over the place. All over the place. So I've got some shadow going on here and things like that. And I do notice that as I'm kind of like moving my hands around and stuff, we're seeing a little more shadows than we should be seeing. We're seeing like a little bit of change in the video, I think. That will be cleared up. I just was doing a bunch of stuff. So here's the other thing that was driving me nuts is, once again, I don't have funds to like build a studio and things like that. I don't have Kickstarters where I tell people, or not tell, ask people, hey, send me money to do the show and keep the website going and things like that, right? So the plastic shelves I've got behind me, of course, were really bowing because of the weight of the different games that are on there, right? So, and it was pretty noticeable. So I went and got PVC pipe. Got my dad and I worked on this. My dad cut the lengths of pipe because he didn't think that I could probably, do them evenly. It's probably right. So anyway, I'll move out of the way here. So if you notice now, of course, there's still a little bit of bowing. A little bit. And I'm going to fix this a little bit. I got this runner. So it's not, but as you can see, if you take a look at previous episodes, there was really, really noticeable bowing. Not so much now. So that was something else that I was working on also. So I was very, very busy. So hopefully with the new camera, everything looks good. One thing I have to point out, I can only stream at so many kilobits per second. If I could do higher, I would. I just can't because I don't have that kind of upload. I've got like 10 millibits per second as far as my upload speed. I've got good download speed from Comcast, but unless you're a business, you've got a business account, you don't get a very high upload. So hopefully the stream looks good. So Flaming Huron says it feels like an episode of Hoarders. No, it's not that bad. It's just I tend to have stuff all over. You know, I've got my soda. I've got my 2 remotes. I've got I've got just different stuff laying around. I mean, but no, it's not like an episode of Hoarders whatsoever. Yes, if you dig around, you might find some skeletons of cats down here. No. So anyway, so hopefully everything looks good. We should start seeing way better quality on the videos. Me on the show, that's not going to help. But at least technically, things will probably look sharper on both these as well as the standalone videos, the reviews, the unboxings, things like that. I'm probably going to do fewer unboxings and try to focus more on reviews. So Xcelera X1 is asking, do I have a collection or a library? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Collection of, do I consider it my game collection as opposed to game library? I just call it game collection. Library to me means books. That's just, I guess I'm old school like that. A library is books. So, all right. So anyway, that is pretty much what's cooking. I'll also have my review of the new D&D Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. I thought it was Avernus, or maybe I was calling it Avernus. I guess it's Avernus. Didn't know. Sorry, did not know. So that should be up before tomorrow's show. So I will be shooting that in the morning with my new overhead rig. Fingers crossed, everything works out pretty cool. So Xcelera X1 is saying people seem to keep discussing this. I don't know. To me, that's not something that, potato is kind of how I look at it. It's still a spud. It doesn't really, I don't know. I just call it a collection, my game collection. And I really don't even refer to it as a collection. I just say my games. So I've got a good amount of news. I've got some cool news tonight. So let's jump on into it. Oh, here's the other thing that I do want to point out. Because this DSL camera, okay, here's probably a little more inside baseball you don't need to know. But so I have to laugh. When I first started doing the gaming game, I knew nothing about like website design or upkeep of a website or databases, anything like that. We started doing a podcast. Elliot Miller, my best friend over at voiceofe.com, and I did a podcast, gaming podcast. We did that for like 3 years. Pretty popular too. We had a lot of fun. And people liked it because we were best friends and they could tell because we would kid around and bust each other's chops a little bit, but all in good fun. I knew nothing about audio production. I guess listening to this, you would probably still think I don't know a lot about audio production either. So, but still, do the best I can with the equipment I've got. So then I didn't know anything about that. So then I started shooting video. I knew nothing about video. Now I pick up this DSL camera, knew nothing about photography, f-stops, apertures, ISOs, any of that stuff. It's like, wow, I could at least say the gaming gang has led me to learn a lot of different stuff. So there's that. Good deal. But with these DSL cameras, you can shoot video on it. And I'm not really shooting video. I am just running a live feed from the camera to my capture device to the computer. But supposedly, the cameras do not allow you to shoot more than 29 minutes and 59 seconds of video because they are not video cameras. If they allowed you to shoot more than that, then they would be considered video cameras, and the EU charges an extra 5 to 12%, depending on what it is, I guess, cost they add an extra 15 to 12% to the taxation for a video camera as opposed to a camera. So it is possible. Now I've got a little workaround. I don't know if it's going to work perfectly. Another reason why the show was a little bit late to start tonight. I'm trying to see if I can work around that. Don't be shocked if suddenly we get a picture that goes blank, just goes black. Hang with me, because what I got to do is I just got to turn the view back on. I know, it's weird. I have no idea. My fingers are crossed that this workaround will work. I will know if it goes blank, if it goes black, because I can see the feed, right? And the feed will cut off. In fact, I think we might even see like a little pop-up that gives us like a countdown timer. I don't know. I will find out. Fingers crossed, everybody. Otherwise, what have you. There is another camera that I am kind of taking a look at. It is, which I can't really afford, but it does not have that limitation, and it's supposed to be a really good camera. So the one I just bought is actually was released like in 2016. The camera's actually a couple years old, but it's so far so good. It's really nice. And Viper Dave has arrived just in time for me to jump into the news, because Backspindle Games is releasing their successfully kickstarted Moorn Quest. It's coming in Q4. I've got the dope. The year is 1847 on Jack Turner's 11th birthday. It is an awful day that his father is lost at sea. And despite great-grandma Tess's belief in the power of dandelion wishes, Jack knows no amount of magic will bring him back. He tries anyway. Nothing happens. Hey, wait a second. What is going on here? Come on. Oh, I see what's going on. Like I said, I ran through all this stuff today. Trying to get all this stuff going. Everything set up camera-wise and lighting-wise and all of this behind me. And I forgot to do a few different things. That's what happens. It's half-assed. So yes, and yes, Dan, I think those pre-painted miniatures are kind of cool. I think they are kind of cool. Why are we getting these different... We should not be still seeing that Ares Games image come up. I'm going to run through these real quick. Make sure I've got all the correct... Yeah, I thought I did this, but maybe this is not correct. Hold on. See, aren't you glad that this is live? You get to experience this live. Amazing. That is fantastic. Hey, well, at least the video of me looks better. Jeez. Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, I think we should be... I think there's one more here. Breathe, Jeff, breathe. It's cool. Tomorrow's another rotten day. Yes, I know, Dan. I know it. Yeah, well, you know what? I just hate when things just aren't... I guess I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, is what actually it boils down to, as far as doing this stuff. So, strangely enough, I do not know why, because I just pulled that out, that Ares Games image. I yanked that out, so let's see if that keeps popping up. That's, yeah, that's really weird. All right, let's do this. Okay, anyway, so, in an act of rage, Jack sets in motion a series of events that transports him to the true kingdom of Moorn, a realm half real, half imagined, that's filled with all manner of fantastical creatures. Jack encounters Cobbs, a 437-year-old Clercherin, don't call him a leprechaun, who lives alone in a creaky old mansion perched on top of a tree that grows within a tree. Soon Jack learns that his tampering with the long-forgotten magic of Moorn has stirred something deep within the heart of the mountains. An ancient wall encircles the center of the kingdom, a wall that has held strong for centuries. But now the evil it was built to imprison has a plan to escape. Oh, I hate when that happens. The nightmares, the deepest fears from the darkest corners of Irish legend, are being called from their slumber. From the four corners of the kingdom they come. Their one aim, to tear down that wall. We're not talking about one on the Mexican border. And set the old ones, Shimnavor, free. In Morn Quest, a 2 to 4 player cooperative board game based on the novel Morn Quest by Irish author Gary McElern, heroes Jack, Cobbs, and their friends must battle to banish the nightmares and save the kingdom of Morn. As they race toward their goal, they gather power from the land itself, with granite, blackthorn, flax, and gold fueling their quest, and magical items to boost their skills. But even the bog beans, the normally elusive fairy folk of the dark forest and marshlands, seem to set themselves to block their path. Together, the heroes face an epic struggle to escape the bog beans, dispel the nightmares, and finally defeat the Shimnavor. Shimnavor! I'm going to take a guess. That's probably how it's pronounced. Morn Quest is for 2 to 4 players, ages 10 and up, plays in 2 to 3 hours, and will carry an MSRP of $79.99 when it arrives in Q4. I do not have an exact date, just the quarter that it will release. Backspindle Games did Dance of the Fireflies, which I really liked, which was the gardening game that was kind of cutthroat. So I kind of dug that. Dan from No Enemies Here has to rock out. Yes, I know. Dan's usually only gets to hang till about 7:30 my time. So good to see you, Dan. Tomorrow's show will start on time. Fingers crossed. So have a great night. So anyway, this looks pretty cool. This had some ups and downs as far as getting kickstarted. It had a few false starts, but it finally did get kickstarted and did successfully fund. So this looks interesting, and being Irish, kind of have an interest in that. So moving right along, there's a strategy game that is available now. It's from Parallel Games. It is right up my alley because I am born and raised in Chicago. I live in the Chicago suburbs, and I've got the dope on City of the Big Shoulders. After the Great Fire of 1871, the brave men and women of Chicago sought to rebuild their great city, and rebuild it they did. Over the next 60 years, Chicago experienced an economic golden age, making such great progress that it hosted the World's Columbian Exposition in 1893, followed not long after by a celebration of its century of progress at the World's Fair in 1933. Many of the household brands we've come to know and love today had their start in Chicago during this time period. Oscar Mayer, Kraft, Quaker Oats, Nabisco, Swift & Company, Armour & Company, Schwinn Bicycles, Charles Schwab, and many others like Morton Salt, that's another one, made a home here in this tall, bold slugger. In City of the Big Shoulders, players take on the roles of entrepreneurs and investors seeking to rebuild Chicago into a city fit for the world stage. In this unique merger of 18XX-style stock manipulation mechanics with Euro-style gameplay, players start companies, trade in shares, hire employees, equip their factories, produce goods, and sell them to be delivered to homes across the Midwest. Although City of the Big Shoulders features a large amount of strategic depth and rewarding gameplay, it does so in a shorter timeline than is typical of most heavy economic games. Players play just 5 rounds, also known as decades, in about 2.5 hours. Each decade consists of 5 unique phases. A stock phase where players can buy and sell stock. A building phase where players rebuild the city of Chicago, placing action spaces on the board. An action phase where companies send their partners to make deals across Chicago. There's an operating phase where companies buy resources, produce goods, and ship them out of Chicago. And finally, a cleanup phase where all those workers go take showers and baths and... No, I'm kidding. It's a cleanup phase where the board is set up for the following decade. At the end of the fifth decade, the game ends. Players then exchange shares that they have purchased over the course of the game for cash, are rewarded for any of the public goals they accomplish over those 5 decades of play, and tally their money to determine who is Chicago's greatest resident. City of the Big Shoulders is for 2 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, plays in 2 to 3 hours, and does carry an MSRP of $79. This is available right now. This does look interesting, and I do have to point out, Parallel Games is sending me a copy for me to review because it looked like this could be right up my alley. Plus, it's from Chicago. But here's one thing that I have to point out about the title, and I may be incorrect, but having lived in Chicago my entire life, well, not entire life, good portion of my life, or Chicago suburbs, except for like the 15 years I lived away from the city, I have never heard the city called the City of the Big Shoulders. I have always heard it called the City of Big Shoulders, not the Big Shoulders. So I don't know. I thought it was a little strange to see the title of this game. And again, I might be wrong, and everybody has just dropped the out of the phrase. We'll see. And of course, we will see what's cooking with City of the Big Shoulders when I get it. There's an interesting Kickstarter going on. It's from Tompet Games, I should say. It's the new edition of the Roman Empire game, Donning the Purple, and I've got the dope. It's the year it's the year 193 AD. Like, wow, I can't read tonight? The Roman Empire is not as great as it once was. Enemies are crossing the borders while famine and political intrigues are tearing the empire apart from within. The previous empire... I need a sip here. I have been talking way too long. Not taking a sip. Getting a little sticky mouth, which seems to kind of make me misread things. Much better. As everybody tunes out, they're like, yeah, okay, Jeff. We're done with your show tonight. Anyway, enemies are crossing the borders while famine and political intrigues are tearing the empire apart from within. The previous emperor was killed by his Praetorian bodyguard and has left a vacuum that the powerful families in Rome are trying to fill. Are you ready to don the purple yourself and be the new emperor? If you fail, the other families are ready to take over at a moment's notice. While they wait for your doom, they will backstab and undermine you as best they can. However, you all have to work together as the fall of the Roman Empire is closing in. Donning the Purple is an asymmetrical King of the Hill game with a bit of worker placement. Each player leads a powerful family in ancient Rome, trying to get the most victory points during 4 rounds. If your family member becomes the emperor and manages to hold the position, he can earn lots of points. However, he will also become the target of the other players, as they will try to dethrone him and become the new emperor themselves. There's also an expansion which is part of this Kickstarter. It is Votes and Virtue. It is an expansion to Donning the Purple and includes lots of new content that will create new headaches for the ruling emperor. A new role called the General with a unique player map. If he becomes too popular among the legions, they will proclaim him the new emperor. A 4th player that starts the game as the General, so it actually increases the player count by 1. There's also a Senate phase where all players use their senators to vote over important things that affect the Empire. There's that extra player mat for the heir with a unique action and lots of new cards. Donning the Purple is for 1 to 3 players, ages 14 and up, plays in about 70 to 90 minutes. As I mentioned, that expansion does add a 4th player. The project is about 400% funded last I looked, and you can reserve a copy of the core game for a $51 pledge. That is very, very fair. And if you want to include the expansion, you can do that with an $80 pledge, so you get both. And you can do this through October 3rd. Expected delivery is August of next year. Gotta say, I always heard good things about Donning the Purple. In fact, Mo over at Mo's Game Table, in fact, I believe they quote him in one of the blurbs, and he really likes it. So I have to say that, gotta be honest, if Mo likes it, it should be pretty good, because Mo's pretty solid as far as his reviews and things like that. So Hubcam210 is asking, what's my favorite soda? Well, my favorite soda I probably can't drink anymore. Although, I drink a lot of Diet Pepsi and Pepsi One. I drink Diet Right, which is a Royal Crown product. Reason why I do that is because there's no sodium in it. And most sodas, either regular sugar soda or diet soda, has sodium, and this does not. And it's a cola, and it's caffeine free, it's sugar free. So yeah, that's what I tend to try to drink if it's in stock, because I think I'm not the only one who does not want sodium in their soda. All right, moving right along, let's talk some RPGs, because there's a new bundle of holding available. If you're a fan of old school Renaissance RPGs, you're going to be digging this dope. Adventura! This old school revival bundle number 6 is our 6th annual, well, mostly, celebration of the old school revival and the spirit of tabletop role-playing's earliest days. This all-new collection presents Hot Springs Island and Operation Unfathomable, Dungeons by Dyson logos, 3 one-page Dungeons compilations, Blue Home, Hydra Cooperative, Nelsonian Arts Council, and a new Expeditious Retreat, Aggressive Ecologies entry debuting in this offer. Oh, so Flaming Huron's got to pop out. Good to see you, Flaming Huron. We will catch you later. All right, for about this deal, for just $12.95, you get all 7 titles in the starter collection, retail value $48, as DRM-free PDF ebooks, including the foul-aired Hexcrawl Fever Swamp, the aggressive ecology embodied in the Undead Leviathan, the Blue Home Journeyman rules, plus its referee repository, character records, and the introductory module, Necropolis of Neuroman, and a giant dungeon map collection by Master Mapper Dyson Logos. If you pay more than the threshold price of $25.48, you'll level up and get our entire bonus collection with 9 more titles worth an additional $65. There's Jacob Hurst's glorious 2-volume Jungle Hexcrawl, a field guide to Hot Springs Island and the Dark of Hot Springs Island, the Gonzo Phantasmagorial Subterranean Sandbox by Jason, the Dungeon Dozen, Schultes, Operation Unfathomable, plus its player's guide and the map and character sheet, the Slaver Fungus, a new star-spanned Aggressive Ecologies entry from Expeditious Retreat that debuts in this offer and is not yet available anywhere else. There's also What Ho Frog Demons, a hexcrawl set in the weird-infested Marlinko Canton, site of the slumbering Ursine Dunes, fever-dreaming Marlinko, and the misty Isles of the Eld. And to wrap this up, you get 3 recent volumes in the long-running one-page dungeon Compendium Contest series from 2016, 17, and 18, which is the 10th anniversary edition. Keep in mind, 10% of your payment after your payment gateway fees does go to this offer's designated charity, Ocean Conservancy. I have to say, now, being someone who's a big fan of the old school Renaissance, or revival, whatever you want to call it, I was always told it was Renaissance, but whatever. It's OSR. It's all that matters. This is an awesome bundle because you are getting some excellent stuff. Hot Springs Island, you're getting, I just even said it. Fever Swamp, that's supposed to be really good. I have not read that one. I have read Operation Unfathomable. There's What Ho Frog Demons, which is pretty damn new. It's from within the last year or so. That is another really good one. So there's a lot of good stuff in here. There really, really is. And for $26 for like the whole big collection, you can't do any wrong. So did want to share that because I am always on the lookout to save people money on cool gaming stuff. And I gotta say, this is one of the cooler bundle of holdings I have seen in a while. Of course, that's because I'm a big fan of OSR stuff. All right, my final news piece is about Matt Corley and Saturday Morning Scenarios. There's a special free 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons adventure that's available. It's over at Drive-Thru RPG. It's to promote a good cause. I've got the dope, but the first thing I am going to do is I am going to share a video with you that is going to talk about this.
This is Harper. She's my youngest daughter, and as you can see, she loves Dungeons & Dragons. Here she is with a little bit of swag that I got from Matt Lillard last year of Beetle and Grimm. When her order was delayed, he ended up giving her a little bit of extra stuff, and honestly, she couldn't have been happier. We also like to play D&D. Any chance that we get, we play in a campaign on occasion, and she's even made it into a few books with her sister, books that I've written with Sandy Peterson and Wolfgang Bauer of Kobold Press and Peterson Games. Cancer has touched my life many times, and probably yours too. But nothing could prepare me for February 2nd of 2019 when Harper was diagnosed with leukemia. It was hard, tough, as I'm sure you can imagine. But she stayed strong. She led the way, and we had help. Friends of Kids of Cancer got us through a very dark time, and they gave us our first good day. And now that she's in remission, she's kicking butt, taking names, and she's ready to give back now that she's back to her old self. And that's where you come in. Enter Harper's Tale, which is based on an outline that the two of us created before she was discharged from the hospital. Within the pages of Harper's Tale, you will find 10 adventures in a campaign that takes your heroes from first level neophytes all the way to 10th level heroes of the forests. We've enlisted the help of many of our most creative friends. There's too many for me to list, so please read the description below to get them all. And we've brought a campaign to you, and it's one that I know that you'll love. In this campaign, you'll meet Rose. She's a stubborn warrior that refuses to back down from anyone or anything. And you'll also meet her older sister, Grace. And in meeting them, you'll see that they're taking care of their friends and their neighbors that have been afflicted with a mysterious condition. You will be tasked with exploring the nooks and crannies of a forest. Get to the source of the problem. The agents of the Archdruid Ding are all around, watching your every step. New friends are around every corner, a few a little more colorful than others. Will you follow the path to redemption, or you try to find a friendly storm giant to just smash it all to pieces? We need your help to bring this campaign together. All campaign proceeds will be going to Friends of Kids with Cancer. After the campaign is finished, Harper will actually own the IP, and we will be using that for her in whatever way she decides as an adult. Thank you very much, and we appreciate your support.
Harper's Tale is an epic story of sacrifice, perseverance, and redemption. The heroes will investigate, battle, and learn the true origins of the threat to their home. The adventure is based on an outline that Harper came up with and wrote after coming home from the hospital after her first round of chemotherapy treatment for leukemia, and has been brought to life by an award-winning team. Welcome to Grove is a free adventure to get the word out about the Indiegogo campaign to benefit Friends of Kids with Cancer to help others like Harper who are battling cancer. You'll notice I do have the web address down below. It's the igg.me. So that is what you're looking for. It is a little long, so be sure you pause the video or whatever, or you can go to Indiegogo and type in Harper or Harper's Tale, and you should be able to see it. Anyway, there are going to be 10 adventures in all, culminating in the party, now 10th level, confronting the source of the plague within their homeland. The adventure path is intended for younger players, but players of all ages will find plenty to keep them engaged with the story. you can pick up the first adventure and see for yourself that family-friendly RPGs can be fun for everyone. Campaign begins in the village of Grove as the heroes come to a seemingly deserted village. Through exploration and investigation, they learn that a mysterious illness has taken over the town, leaving only two young women, Rose and Grace, to care for the populace. As I mentioned, this is free. This is available free on Drive-Thru RPG. By all means, download it. Go to Drive-Thru RPG, download the free module, the free first part, and give it a read. Check it out. And then I do understand that I believe the game plan for all 10 of the adventures is, I think they should be finished in June of next year. I believe that is what I saw. So I gotta say, sick kids, that's all you gotta tell me. And I'm right away, I'm just, I'm right there. I'm more than happy to share information. This is something I stumbled across. Nobody contacted me and said, oh, hey, do us a favor and share this. Just something I had stumbled across while I was checking out some stuff over on Drive-Thru RPG. And I thought, hey, you know what? Helping the friends of kids with cancer would be something pretty sweet. So on that note, I do want to point out, I think we're also going to do another one of our game marathons for Extra Life this year, this November. I have to talk to Elliot, see if he's up for it. I think we will. I think we should be able to do it. 'Cause I'm sure I know Cameron will, my nephew Cameron, some of his friends, they'll all be up for it. It's just I'm not sure. Elliot's very busy most of the time. So Jorge Rodriguez arrived just at the end of the show, just as we're finishing up. I would normally say, oh hey, don't forget, Lil Bub, Lil Whiz Bub, and Lil Bub's Big Fun. But I figured we did the news piece about the friends of kids with cancer, so we'll just leave it with that. We won't steal any thunder from that at all. So last thing I want to say is I had a chance to actually check out. I saw Toy Story 4 finally, and it's funny because I had been warned. I have no problem. Yeah, I get teary-eyed. I cry during movies. Whatever. I don't care. Right? Yeah, I'm not a cold-hearted person by any stretch of the imagination. So I was a little worried because some people I know, without spoiling the film, had told me. I was like, I'm like, oh man, gosh, please don't bust me up because I will feel like such a doofus, bawling my eyes out over a cartoon. Thankfully, I did get teary-eyed in some parts and stuff like that, but no, I didn't actually bawl my eyes out. Not like when the first time I saw Titanic. And I saw Titanic on a first date. So I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm crying. And it was like she was bawling her eyes out too. So it was like she was actually like, hey, I appreciate the fact that you were doing that. I'm like, oh, okay. All right, cool deal. All right, so that is the show for tonight, and the little workaround worked. If you've been watching since the beginning, I talked about how with this new DSLR camera, it's got like a limit to how long I can have the live view, which is what I'm sharing here. I'm not doing a recording from the camera. I'm using software on my PC to do it, and it worked. Still going. Pretty sweet. So, all right. That is it for tonight's show. So, as I like to point... Oh, one other thing. I will remind you that I will have the books, the other copy is actually upstairs. It is upstairs at the moment because I just finished reading it. So the standard cover of Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, I will have the review of it tomorrow. So if you tuned in a little late, I will have my review of it up probably late afternoon. It'll be before the show goes live, but I will have that up. All right, so there you have it. As I like to point out, if you like the video, please give it a quick thumbs up. To check out some of the videos on the Gaming Gang channel and you like them, by all means, please subscribe. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that little bell, because it will not only notify you when I upload a new video, say like tomorrow's review, it will also inform you when the stream goes live. Most people tell me within about 5 minutes, but on my phone, it's like within 30 seconds it pops up. So it's pretty quick, I guess, for most people. So anyway, so by all means, please subscribe and tell a friend. And don't forget, visit thegaminggang.com, which is my home website for the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. By now, you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. So, thanks to everybody who joined me in chat tonight, keeping me company on a Monday night. Could be watching football right now. They're getting ready to kick off. But you didn't. You're hanging out, talking tabletop gaming with me. So, always appreciate those of you who join me in chat. If you watch live and you have the ability to hop into chat, by all means, please do. We're pretty friendly. Nobody bites. And of course, it doesn't matter when you watch the show. If it's live or on Memorex, I still really, really appreciate you watching. So until tomorrow, everybody have a great night. I will be back. Until then, happy trails, everybody. Thanks again for watching The Daily Dope, presented by The Gaming Gang. If you like this episode, be sure to give it a quick thumbs up. And if you dig the channel, please subscribe. If you'd like to check out our previous episode, click right here. And if you want to check out a somewhat randomly selected episode, give a click right down here. It'll be like opening a box of Cracker Jacks. You just don't know what you'll get. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'm Jeff McAleer.